Let's bring in Deutsche Bank's Adrian Cox, who wrote that note on OpenAI today. And Adrian, not to be too myopic about the action today, but our investors, now they've digested this massive reset over the past few months since Gemini's launch, has that cleared the way actually for, for some maybe better data points? Or do you think this is so existential for OpenAI, it's going to be really hard for them?
Well, I think you're right. This is actually, in a way, going to be a year of disillusion, not only for OpenAI, but for the rest of the AI trade. And that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's probably a good thing that as any technology is becoming applied in real life, then you begin to really understand what are the strengths of it and where the challenges lie. For OpenAI, I think you're really seeing the problems that you have when you're a company which absolutely had the field to itself for the first couple of years, but then began to be followed up by other companies producing similar, or in some cases, superior models. And if you're Google, for example, then you have the advantage of massive distribution already, a huge audience of users using your product absolutely every single day, not needing to go into a special app for it. You also have enormous data that you're gathering every time you do a search. And on top of that, and possibly the most important thing, you have enormous capacity with data centers, which you're investing in tens of billions of dollars every year. And this is also the case with the other hyperscalers. So unlike them, OpenAI has to go out and raise funding for all of the training that it's doing in data centers, which presents it with the real challenge. And so you can see why it is having to look around for different business models.
Yeah.
It has 800 million weekly users, but its subscriptions are only a small part of that. And in fact, Deutsche Bank data that we've gathered in Europe shows that those subscriptions have more or less flatlined since the middle of last year. So they have to find some other way of generating revenue.
And they seem to be kind of casting around for those ways. Slow Ventures general partner Sam Lessin is also with us. Sam, welcome to the conversation. And how would you spin this narrative forward? I'm curious if I'm sure everyone is talking about this, right? The way that OpenAI is pivoting to find other kinds of business models and levers it can pull. I think the broadly more interesting point is that the Mag 7 used to all have their lovely little moats. Yardeni Research talked about this. Apple had the handset and Google had search and, Meta was Meta. And now AI, they're all at each other's throats and introducing ChatGPT as a competitor as well. So do you see it that way, that the gains of one come at the expense of another?
Well, I think you have to break out, what AI is and kind of where we are. I'd say remember, OpenAI today is what I call a narrative asset, right? It's a story. It's a great story, but it's a story where the vision has far outpaced reality, right? And if you kind of unwind a few years, we were talking about whoever gets to AGI first is the ultimately winner, full stop. It turns out that actually, no, people can catch up. The model competition isn't over. Lots of people have different takes. My personal view is that actually AI is great for all the incumbents. It's great for Google. It's great for Meta. They don't have to compete long term. They actually have distinct business models, all of which are levered by AI. The interesting battleground is kind of the new surface, or the net new, where there is kind of a feeding frenzy of who can try to win. OpenAI is they're seriously outgunned from a distribution perspective in most other areas, but they did for a while own the narrative. The question this year is, can they continue to own a narrative? And how much will the market and the world support that narrative as actual evidence piles up about the viability of businesses?
Look at what's happened in the market since you could go back to last summer, but especially since November. Most of these, Oracle is down like $500 million in market cap since September. Microsoft has shed, I think, $600 billion in market cap since last summer. These are two of the names that were most levered to the rise of OpenAI. And here comes Google, which was the Mag 7 name that by far has done the best over the past year. It's up like 70%. And it doesn't even need NVIDIA's chips in order to do this. So I guess that's my point. And you're right. Maybe AI just is a sheen that helps all of them. But right now, there certainly seems to be Gemini's rise is coming at the expense of the valuations of a lot of those involved with ChatGPT.
Well, I will agree with that. But I think for me, the thing to keep in mind is my narrative on AI has always been the incumbents win, right? Mm-hmm. And the OpenAI trade was, no, actually, this is so disruptive, the incumbents won't win. And ChatGPT will be able to take down Google, and there's going to be a whole new economy. I just don't buy that. I never have. I think what you're going to see is that this is not, AI is an extending innovation. That means Google crushes it if they get their stuff in line, which they are. That means people like Meta crush it because their ads model is perfectly aligned with AI. Mm-hmm. And everything else is going to be a slog and a battle, right? There will be some winners out of this. It's not like nothing will change at all. But, I think what we're seeing right now is reality kind of coming in and people starting to look at reality versus the narrative story of AGI is coming and whoever gets there first is the ultimate winner and everyone else goes to zero.